Namaste, welcome to class. We're starting today, everyone, at the top of their mat, feet hip distance. Just go ahead and close your eyes. So we've got a 60-minute power yoga flow. We'll just take a couple moments to center, get still, feel your feet contacting the floor, connecting to your roots, and just start to feel your body's orientation to space, front to back, side to side, top to bottom, and just start to relax into your own skin. All right, so with your awareness in your feet, tail softening down, low belly floating up, on an inhale, circle your arms up. As you glance up, rise out of your waist, strengthen your legs, and then dive forward as you exhale, releasing your head and your neck last. And then inhale, flat back, so you can put your hands up on your shins. Exhale, step to plank and hold upper push-up position. So we're just diving right in here. Your shoulders are stacked right over your wrists. You want to micro bend in your elbows. Take your shoulder blades and plug them into the back body, but at the same time, broaden the upper back. Now, in your mind's eye, contacting your low belly, slowly exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Hips reaching up out of your fingertips. And just for this first down dog, let's go ahead and bend your knees. Bend your knees a little bit. Reach your hips up out of your fingertips. Just make sure you're not bowing into your underarms. So soften those front ribs a little bit. And reaching your tail up, and then go ahead and press your legs straight, melting your heels into the mat, getting that really nice stretch through the back sides of your legs. All right, so back to what we were doing previously, we're going to flow through plank, just engaging the core, getting the heat going. So from down dog, slowly on an inhale, drift forward to plank and pause, shoulders over your wrist, front spine extending. And then from your low belly, exhale, push back to that strong downward facing dog, hips reaching up. Nice. So just trying to invoke a little bit of fire. Inhale, drift forward to plank, reach through the gateway of your arms. Exhale, navel pulls you back, downward facing dog. So a few more just like that. Inhale, come forward to plank, gaze out slightly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple more. Inhale, drifting out. Make sure your palms are both evenly grounded. Exhale, downward facing dog. So this last plank will actually hold and then take it to the floor. Inhale, drift forward to plank and pause. So you want this length in your front spine. So use your drishti, use your gaze. Take it out above the top of your mat, but keep the back of the neck decompressed. All right, so pubis towards your navel, that belly lifting up and strong. Now with your face empty, although you're working quite hard, take one more inhale. Very slowly exhale, lower down to your belly. Release your toes, lengthen your legs. So as the tops of the feet, all 10 toenails ground into the floor, just feel your inner thighs coil up towards the sky a little bit. So there's a firmness in your glutes, there's not a gripping. Now, elbows hugging into your ribs. Inhale, cobra number 1, starting off nice and easy. Exhale, chest back down to the floor. Inhale, cobra number 2. So starting to work the muscles of your back. Exhale, bring it back down. A couple more. Inhale, number 3. It's like you're squeezing a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Exhale, back down, pause. So this last cobra, inhale, come on up without using your hands. So it's going to be very low. Float your hands up off the floor. Hug your elbows in and try to keep the tops of the feet grounded for 3. So your tail's drawing down towards your pubis, pubis up towards the navel. Now heart, collarbones spread wide open. Take one more inhale. Exhale, chest and hands to the floor. Tuck your toes under, press straight up to plank, downward facing dog. Hips reaching up out of your fingertips. All right, so moving right along, place your right knee on the mat directly below your hip. Spin your left heel flat, supported side arm balance. As you press out of your right palm, reach your left fingertips straight up towards the sky. And just make sure you stabilize through that right shoulder blade by plugging it into the back side of the heart. Now, using your core, float your left leg up level with your hip. So typically, it's a little bit higher than you would think. You want flexion in the ankle, so the back of the leg is long, that thigh is strong. So maintaining the height of this leg. Slowly bring it forward 90 degrees to your torso, or as close to that as you can get. So if you get to 45 degrees and that feels like that's your edge, perfect. Breathe. So just check your face is peaceful, breath keeps flowing. Bring that leg back down the center line, so still maintaining that height. From your shoulder, turn your left palm forward and extend that arm out over your ear. And enjoy a really nice stretch, not only through this left side body, but through the right waistline as well. And then take your rib cage, it's all very subtle, and turn it a little bit towards the sky. 3. Still noticing what's happening in your face, which is hopefully not much of anything. Left arm back up towards the sky. Inhale, hand flat to the floor. Now keep that left leg reaching back. Square your hips to the mat. So both palms are flat, keeping them that way for now. On an inhale, lift your leg and your chest up, arching your back, but not too far into that. Exhale, round in. Forehead and knee come together. Enjoy that stretch. Again, inhale, lift and arch, open the collarbones. Exhale, round, and really stretch that back body. Again, inhale, arch the spine. Last time, exhale, curl and hold that exhale out. Arms are strong. And then inhale, extend your left leg back, reach your right arm straight forward. So make sure that your foundation is strong. Instead of resting into that left shoulder, you're pressing up out of it. Now, keeping the back of the neck long, open your arm out to the right. That's definitely the easy part. And then open your leg out to the left to whatever degree. It's probably not going to open as far as your arm. So instead of rounding your back, really lengthen out through your front spine for 3. And just feel that the midsection of your body is strong. It's supporting you. 2. Bring everything back down the center line. Now with your tailbone soft, so you do not overarch, take these extended limbs, float them up a little bit higher. Last inhale, put it all down. Dip your belly, lift your heart. Inhale, cow tilt. Round your back, exhale like a Halloween cat. Again, inhale, arch, pull your heart center through. Exhale, round, spin that tailbone down. This time, inhale, as you arch, tuck both your toes under, and then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Now, gathering energy from your palms into your low belly and taking this in slow motion. On an inhale, hips press back. You're winding up. Glance forward, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, glance out, flat back, decompress. Forward fold, exhale. With a big inhale, fly to standing, reach up, energize your fingertips. Hands to your heart, pull that energy back down. Inhale, sweep it up, sink that tail towards the floor. Dive it out, exhale till you're empty. Inhale, halfway up. Keep this length in your front spine. Step or jump back, vinyasa at your own pace. Okay, so you can feel it already. The heat is building up pretty significantly. Put your left knee on the mat just below your hip, and then spin that right heel flat. As you extend your right arm towards the sky, feel that left hip draw in towards the center line. So the opposite of sticking your butt out behind you. So those hips are hugging the center line, ribs stay humble. Float your right leg up parallel to the floor and bring some activity into that ankle. So it's like you're stamping the back wall with that heel. So maintain that height, and there's a lot of work with that. Bring that leg forward as close to 90 degrees as you can get. So your edge is your edge. Just find it and breathe. 3. So the shoulder blades are firmly plugged into the back body. Bring that leg back down the center line. Seamlessly reach your right arm out over your ear and shine that palm towards the mat so the shoulder, that right shoulder, wraps away from your neck and your ear for 3. And then that left rib cage scoops under a little bit, peeking your heart slightly towards the sky. Arm back up. Inhale. Hand flat to the floor. Keep that leg reaching back. Neutralize your hips. And with your palms evenly grounded, on an inhale, lift your heart and your leg up. Exhale, round in. Belly lifts up. Inhale, arch to your own degree. Exhale, round it in. Last one. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round in, really stretching that area behind your heart. And then inhale, right leg extends back, left arm extends straight forward. So making sure that your foundation is strong. And there's no hammock in your low back, so that belly floats up, pubis still drawing towards the navel. Open that arm out to the left, palm down. Open that leg out to the right, still with that flexion in the ankle. Now take your front spine, your navel and your heart, and really reach it out in front of you. 3. So keep that right arm driving strong. 2. Come back down the center line. And once again, softening that tail. As you reach out of your mid-body, float these limbs up higher. Last inhale, ground everything down. Dip your belly, lift your heart, full inhale. Round your back, exhale, let that air go. Again, inhale, arch, pull your heart center through. Exhale, round, dropping that tailbone right down. This time, inhale, as you arch, tuck your toes. Exhale, push it back, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. So keep your hips neutral. We want to stay in the low belly. And lengthening through that left waistline and that right inner thigh. Take an inhale. Slowly bring your knee to your chest. Stack your shoulders right over your wrists. So you could stand to drop your hips just a little bit. So hips in line with your shoulders. You really want to stay in your core, keeping those arms strong. Touch that knee down to the floor and then lift it back up. Touch the knee just straight down to the floor. Lift it back up. Stay with me. One more. Touch the knee down. Lift it up. Hold. 3. Curl and nose to knee to nose. 2. And the leg all the way back. Inhale. Again, knee to your chest. Use that to step your foot through. Stay on your left toes. High lunge. Pull your front spine long. Run your arms down your ribs so you have an aerodynamic shape. Literally like you're going to dive forward. Now, as you hover here, there's a lot of fire that's building up. Soften your tailbone down and ignite that low belly. Now, with some consciousness in your right foot, lean into it and launch into Warrior 3. So feel free to do whatever you want with your arms. You could open them. Here, Shauna has her hands in prayer. Just feel your right foot. Make sure you're grounded through all four corners, because it's really a small amount of surface area to balance the entire weight of your body. Now breathing, that low belly is floating up, keeping you really light. Now as you soften that right knee, gracefully step it back into crescent pose, reaching your arms up towards the sky. So right away, feel your tailbone. It's almost like you have a weight at the bottom of it, drawing down towards the floor. And that pubis, and it's the same instructions that weave through all these postures for the most part. That pubis is drawing up towards the navel. And you're drawing the back body in towards the back body as you lift up. In other words, you keep those short ribs humble. All right, so without throwing your head back, turn your gaze up through the ceiling. To whatever degree, as you melt deeper into this lunge, reach up higher. Last inhale. Vinyasa, let that flow. So every body is different, and every day, every practice is different. If you need to turn it down a few notches, skip some of the vinyasas, provided you feel warm enough. Skip some of the vinyasas. Lift your left leg up behind you. So feeling that length from your hands, from those roots, all the way through the ball of your foot. Take an inhale. Bring your knee to your chest. Stack your shoulders right over your wrist. We're going to hold this. You're deep in your core. Touch that knee down to the floor. Lift it up. Touch that knee down. Zip it back up. Last one, touch the knee down, zip it up, hold, 3 arms driving strong, curling into your edge. Leg goes back, inhale, again, knee to your chest, use that, step that foot through. You're staying on your right toes in a high lunge. Pull your heart center forward, thread your arms down your ribs. If this feels like too much, and sometimes it just does, rest your hands on top of your front knee. Now feel your tailbone starting to descend, your belly lift, your heart reach out. Now shifting into that left foot, gracefully launch into your version of Warrior 3. So your arms are there to facilitate your balance. For those of you guys with your arms out to the side, just feel your hands float up just a little bit higher than your shoulders. And get that front spine. You guys look fantastic. That front spine reaching out. 3. Try to level out the hips by shining that right hip bone down towards the floor. 2. Now softening that left knee, go ahead, step back into crescent pose. So arms reaching up out of all 4 corners of your waist. So as your pelvis starts to adjust, notice what's happening in your face. Pay attention to the quality of your breath. If you start to compromise that, you are by all means too far into the posture. Right, so ignited and lifted by your low belly, gaze up through the ceiling, keeping that neck long. Now, as you melt down deeper, reach up higher. Last inhale, vinyasa, let that flow. Downward facing dog. Gathering, inhale, hips wind back, and then float to the top of your mat. Feet together, inhale, glance out. Exhale, forward fold. So feet are all the way together, heels slightly apart. Chair pose. Bend your knees deeply, drop your hips down, and reach your arms up towards the sky. So you want your palms facing one another, and those pinkies revolve in slightly more so you can broaden through your upper back and shoulder area. You have more weight in your heels. And that low belly is lifting up. Last 3, same thing. That tail softens down, relieving your low back. Now this is it, finding your edge. As you squat down deeper, reach up higher. Last inhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, heart out of your hips. Step or jump, vinyasa, or as I said before, skip the vinyasa and pause for a moment in down dog. All right, so from down dog, step your right foot between your hands, spin your left heel flat. So make sure that back foot is in fact grounded. And then on a long inhale, come up to warrior 1. So feeling that reach coming all the way from your feet. Exhale, open up to warrior 2. And adjust that front foot a little bit so you have heel to arch. And then check in. You can use your eyes, or you should use your eyes to make adjustments. Check that that front knee is tracking with your toes, but at the same time that front foot is fully grounded. Turn your right palm towards the sky. Take it into reverse warrior. So that left hand rests on your left thigh. Just want to make sure you're not putting a lot of weight there. You're gazing up. Your heart is bright. Now stretching out through that side body. Take an inhale. Bring your forearm to your front knee. Sweep that left arm up and over your ear. Extended side angle. So as you reach out, reaffirm that back foot. So you really want to feel the pinky edge grounding down. So you're zipping up from that inner ankle all the way up to your groin. Now from both of your feet, taking this slow, inhale, return to warrior 2. So without losing any sort of depth, reverse warrior. Inhale, stretching back. Exhale, cartwheel right through a vinyasa. And doing the best that you can to make these transitions as seamless and fluid as possible, like these ladies here. Step your left foot through, spin your right heel flat from your feet. Inhale, warrior 1. So as you reach up, really press through that right leg. And then exhale, spread it open to warrior 2. So even here in warrior 2, your tail softens down and your pubis lifts up towards your navel. So you really feel you're containing those organs, like you have a band around your waist holding everything in. Turn your left palm towards the sky, reversing that warrior, gazing up. So it's a really nice stretch, really nice heart opener. So make sure you are bright through there. Now lengthening that rib tissue, inhale. Bring that forearm to your front knee, and right away, sweep that right arm up and over your ear. So extended side angle. It's not only a stretch for this right side body, which just feels so yummy, it's also a length through that left side body, through that armpit. Right, so solidified through your legs. Slowly inhale, come back to warrior 2. So you've got that front knee tracking with your toes. Reversing your warrior. Inhale, energize through your fingertips. Exhale, upper push-up position. Hold plank. So shoulders right over your wrist. Take your right knee to your left elbow, not necessarily touching. Come back to plank. Left knee to right elbow. Back to plank. So about 20 seconds, walk this out at the pace that we set up, or maybe start to jog it out. Most importantly, last 15 seconds, the shoulders are stable. They don't move. You're moving your legs, your corresponding knees from your core. So really stoking that fire. Last 5, 4, 3, check your face, 2, hold plank on 1, stabilize, lengthening your front spine, take it back, downward facing dog. So So hips stretching back, heels melting down low. All right, so we're gonna just keep on keeping on. From here, slide your legs together. Drift forward to plank. So you're in that upper push-up position. Vashisthasana. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Send that left arm towards the sky. So you're standing significantly on that arm. Plug that shoulder blade in. Draw your navel back. And extend that left arm out over your ear. So if you need to modify, you can do so like Shauna, putting your knee down. If you want to be a little creative, you could take tree pose for 3. And just feel those fingertips energetically touch the front wall. 2. Arm back up, inhale. Exhale, plank. So holding upper push-up, keeping your tail soft. Lift your right leg up behind you. Take an inhale. Bring that knee to your chest as you exhale. Step that foot between your hands, spin your left heel flat, and inhale, come on up to warrior 1. Right, so as you press into that back foot, square your hips, square your shoulders towards the front wall, and then interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, lift up through your front spine, look up. Exhale, fold your torso inside that front leg. Now, if your shoulder is unable to get inside that leg, that's okay. You can rest the right side of your torso on that thigh. So you just work with your body. Now let your neck go. Take your soft gaze towards your left big toe and keep reaffirming that foot for 3. Make sure that outer right hip is hugging the center line. This looks really good. 2. Now on a full inhale, warrior 1, reach up, hit that high notes. Open up to warrior 2 as you exhale. So either set your gaze out of your right middle finger or perhaps close your eyes. So no doubt, lots of sensation bubbling up from your lower body. Last 5. So these are those moments where you really want to use your breath to dig deep. 4, and gracefully navigate what's coming up for 3. So front knee tracking with your toes, melting down into your deepest warrior 2 lunge. Last inhale, press your right leg straight. Tilting your hips back. Inhale, reach out as if to touch this front wall. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. So there's different places you can put your hands. In general, if you feel collapsed through your right side body, you probably are. If that's the case, slide your hand further up your shin, or if you have a yoga block, you could put it on the higher setting. Right, so that right hip is hugging the center line, that low belly is floating up. Turn your left palm forward, extend that arm out over your ear. And for those of you guys who feel like you just always want more, extend that right arm straight forward and hold that energetic beach ball between your hands. So whether you're reaching that arm out or not, get some length through that right side body for 3. Keep pulling energy up from your feet. Thighs are strong. 2. Right palm down, left arm straight up towards the sky. So keeping that whole orientation of your body. Turn your gaze down about 1 foot in front of your toes. Softening that front knee. Make your transition into Ardha Chandrasana. So make sure that your right knee and toes are tracking straight ahead. So we'll call that 12 o'clock. And as that left leg becomes airborne, again, you want to dorsal flex that ankle. And just check in that those toes are in your peripheral vision for 4. So just challenging yourself appropriately, perhaps gazing up. 3, although not necessary. Now, everyone radiating out of your midline. Take one more inhale. Left hand lightly to the floor. Release your head, release your neck. You have a little bit of a pause. Now walk your hands in to frame your right foot. Without making any sort of a sound, quietly step back into a high lunge. Now staying low, pull your front spine long, lengthen out. Lean some weight into your left palm, reach your right arm towards the sky. So similar to Vashisthasana in the sense that you want that left shoulder blade to hug firmly into the back body. That'll also help you expand your chest. Now from your shoulder, turn that palm forward and extend that arm out over your ear. So find your breath. 4. If it's compromised, humble yourself. Be willing to back off. 3. Relax the effort a little bit. 2. Right arm up towards the sky. Inhale, hand to the floor. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower slow. Inhale, coil it up. Wrap your shoulders open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. All right, so right leg in the air. Stack that right hip on top of the left. Bend your knee, point your toe. So those folks at home, you could stay right here. Otherwise, option to quietly and lightly flip your dog, basically turning it into a tripod back bend. So Mary here has her left leg straight, her right knee bent. Shauna has both knee bents, kind of like a Urdhva Dhanurasana, whichever feels best. Now reaching and gazing towards the front of the room. Take one more inhale. And then flip it back, one leg down dog. So finding neutral hips, take an inhale, then bring that right knee to your left elbow and pause. So step 1. Extend that leg straight out at a diagonal. Roll to the inner edge of your left foot. So extend this leg straight. Left arm up towards the sky. Draw those shoulder blades together for 3. This looks really lovely, you guys. So opening your heart bright. Take one more inhale. Left palm to the floor. Stabilize. Send that right leg straight back. All right, so last thing, stay with me here. Take an inhale. Bring that knee to your right tricep. So holding this plank, you're going to love me for this. Slide this knee down the outside of the arm to the wrist. Oh my goodness, zip it back up. Yes, again, slide it down, zip it back up. This is some serious core. Last time, slide it down, zip it up, hold. 3, this is your oblique speaking to you. 2, leg back, full inhale. Step that foot between your hands. Last thing, I promise. Standing split. Launch that left leg up towards the sky. As that leg goes up, let your head go. So the back of the neck is long. Therefore, your gaze is in and up towards your belly button, perhaps point on the ceiling. So option to keep your hands as they are, fingers lightly on the mat, or take your right arm and hook it behind that right calf muscle. Last 5. And use that leverage to fold yourself in a little bit deeper without feeling like you are forcing and jamming yourself into that. Now from your left seat, and it won't be so deep at this point, to whatever degree, lift up just to kiss that edge. Last inhale, feet together. Oh, inhale, flat back. You made it, at least halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And then take a big inhale, you guys. Fly to standing, reach up. You've probably grown a few inches taller. Hands to your hearts. Exhale. Right, so take your hands to your hips and take a wide step out to the left. So slightly less than one leg's distance. So slightly less than that. Turn your heels in towards one another and then turn your toes out to either corner of your mat. So you're not fully 180 degrees. Your knees, you want them to be able to track with your toes. All right, so with that said, start to bend your knees. They do, in fact, track with your toes. Lift your chest out and just notice that make sure rather, that your ears are stacked right over your shoulders. Your shoulders are stacked right over your pelvis. So most likely you need to press your pelvis a little bit and draw the pubic bone up towards the navel. All right, so last 20 seconds. You can keep your hands right here or reach your arms up towards the sky. So turn your palms towards one another and take those shoulder blades and plug them into the back body. 10 more seconds. So those knees are pressing open. The arches of your feet are lifting. This is it. Last 5. So without forcing, melting down into your deepest place. Hello to that root chakra. Last inhale. Legs straight. Turn your toes in slightly, heels apart, and clasp your hands behind your back. Now softening your tailbone down. So lengthening your lumbar spine. Inhale, look up, stretch back until it feels good. And then exhale, pour yourself forward. So in this position, you want your toes pointing straight ahead, which is basically parallel feet. Parallel feet often feels like you're pigeon-toed. So if you have that sense, most likely you have the correct position. In other words, the pinky edges of your feet are parallel to the top and the bottom of your mat. All right, you guys, release your hands to the floor. So you could probably take your feet a little bit wider. Take either your peace fingers and hook your big toes, or grab the outer edges of your feet. Now strengthening your legs. On an inhale, pull your chest out. So you have a flat back, your core is engaged. And then exhale, forward folds. So try not to create the illusion of going deeper by rounding your back. Keep that length through the front spine. For 5. So you feel this little arching of your upper back, but at the same time, those ribs, those short ribs, stay humble. Lastly, relax your face. Soften the effort. And then staying low, release your feet. Spin your right foot towards the front of the room and make your way into a runner's lunge. You're on the ball of that left foot. So a little forewarning, we're just going to go right into this other side. So step back to plank and slide your legs together. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot, side arm, or Vashisthasana, right arm towards the sky. So if you are holding your breath, your face is turning blue, putting your knee down is just a really nice compromise. Go ahead and reach that upper arm out over your ear and feel that left hip lifts up a little bit. So you're going to feel a lot of energy through that waistline. For 3, keep that breath coming. 2. Arm back up, inhale, plank. So stabilizing an upper push-up, softening your tail towards the mat. Lift your left leg up behind you. So you're still in the plank. Take an inhale. Knee to your chest. Curl in. Step that foot between your hands. Right heel flat. Inhale. Come on up to Warrior 1. And just pause for a second. Catch your breath. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. All right, so hips and shoulders square towards this front wall. Interlace your fingers behind your back. So make sure the pinky edge of that right foot stays grounded. Inhale, lift up. Roll the shoulder heads open. Exhale, bow yourself forward. Waterfall warrior. Right, so there is an element of balance here. So again, find that place to commit your gaze without feeling like you are staring or straining your eyes. So it's a super intense posture. Empty your low jaw though. 3. not wasting any of your energy. So melting down into that. From your feet, full inhale, warrior one, reach up. Hit that high note. Warrior two as you exhale. So once you have found your footing, set your gaze, or perhaps close your eyes. So one is not better than the other, it's simply a different experience. So with your eyes closed, you're just reducing the amount of visual information that's coming in and potentially stimulating your mind and kicking up some dust. Last three, so just feel that tail softening down. Pubis lifting up towards the navel. So finding your lowest lunge without gripping. Last inhale, press that left leg straight. Inhale, reach out through your left waistline and fingertips. Exhale, find your triangle pose. So if you are holding that left leg, and these guys are such seasoned yogis, you want to make sure you're not gripping. You're not gripping it. So that left shoulder head is opening up, that shoulder blade is plugging in. Your heart is bright without back bending in any way. Turn your upper palm forward, extend that arm out over your ear. So provided you're breathing, you're strong in your legs, option to reach your left arm straight out and feel that energy in between your palms for three. Your feet at this point, they're like suction cups, drawing energy up into your quads. Two. So left hand back down, right arm straight up out of that shoulder. So everything's shining this way. Simply turn your gaze down, one foot in front of your toes. Softening that knee, make your transition into Ardha Chandrasana. And all this balancing, all this floating, transitioning, it is all in yoga attributed to the bandha. So Mula Bandha, that pelvic floor, perineum is lifting, and that low belly, you're still drawing the abdominal organs in. You're holding them tight. Three. So option to levitate your left hand like Shauna is doing, perhaps gaze up. Three, maybe that's just an intention for you. Two, so energetically expanding out of your midline. Last inhale, right hand lightly to the floor, let your neck go. So just relaxing ever so briefly. Walk your hands in to frame that left foot, and without making a sound, step back into a high lunge. All right, so staying low, pull your heart center forward, and then lean some weight into your right palm. Give it some energy. Left arm up towards the sky. So there's a tendency to drop the right hip. So keep twofold, that left hip hugging the center line and that right hip lifted. From your shoulder, turn that palm forward, extend that arm out over your ear, and feel this just lovely line of energy from your back heel all the way through your fingertips. Last three. Isolate your ribs to create that detoxifying twist. Two. Arm back up. Inhale, hand to the mat. Step back through a vinyasa, you guys, or right to down dog. All right, you powerful yogis, we're almost there. Lift your left leg up behind you. So just make sure your palms, both of them at this point, are grounded. Stack that left hip on top of the right. Bend your knee. So you're lengthening out of both sides of your waist. Stay or lightly, quietly, like a ballerina, flip out. So make sure that your shoulder stacks right over your wrist. So you're bringing that weight forward just a little bit. And those shoulder blades are scooping the backside of your heart. Take one more inhale. Quietly flip back, one leg down dog. So neutralizing your hips. Take an inhale. Bring that knee to your right elbow. So that's step number 1. Extend that leg straight out at a diagonal. And then you're rolling to the inner edge of your right foot this time, right arm up towards the sky. It's a really fun posture. In my opinion, heart centers really open and bright. So feeling those shoulder blades plugged firmly into the back body. One more inhale. Right palm grounds down. Send that left leg back. So gathering your energy. Last part. Take an inhale. Knee to your left tricep. So finding that deepest point first. Then slide the knee down the arm. Zip it up. Hold. Slide it down. Zip it up. Almost. Slide it down. Zip it up and hold. 3. Working that left oblique. 2. Leg back. Inhale. Step that foot between your hands. Standing split. Launch that right leg up towards the sky. So standing split, you can keep your hips neutral. You could externally rotate, stack right hip on top of left. Just make sure, especially if you're externally rotating, that you're really pressing out. You're pressing straight up out of that hip. All right, so neck free of tension, last 3. Both legs as straight as you can make them. Now from that right seat, lift up just to brush that edge. Final inhale, feet come together. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. I think you guys deserve a break. So go ahead and separate your feet as wide as you need to sit down into a yogic squat. And right away, lift your heart up. Soften your chin slightly towards the mat, or towards your chest, rather. And close your eyes. And just take a moment to tune yourself to the sound and the rhythm of your breath. Feel your collarbones spreading wide. Nice. A little more resistance between the elbows and the knees. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Press your legs straight. Turn your toes forward. On an inhale, flat back. Lengthen your front spine. Step to plank and pause in upper push-ups. You guys have taken my class before. I think you have an idea of what's coming. So lower down into a forearm plank. So your shoulders stack right over your elbows. In my opinion, this is probably one of the most intense postures, but also one of the best ways to build core strength. If you need to modify at any point, it's not so much the knees, it's more the tops of the thighs that would go down here. Or so the pubis is drawing towards the navel. The chest is pulling out. The shoulder blades are plugging in and simultaneously broadening across the upper back. Right, so keeping those forearms strong. Rock your hips a little bit to the right. Come center. To the left. And center. So keep going at your own pace. So each time you rock to the side, you're going to feel that oblique fire. Last 5. Just a little dip with that hip bone. 3, 2, and then come back to the center on 1. Re-tuck your hips. Lift that belly up without sticking your butt up into the air. Bend your knees slightly. Press those legs straight. Notice how our butt does not move. Bend the knees. Press them straight. Keep going. Last 8. Bend and extend. So massaging deeply into your core. Keep those forearms strong. Last 3. Back of the neck is long and soft. Now on 1, legs straight. Retuck your hips. Nose is pointing down. Stay with it. Last 10 seconds. Breathing in stillness. Last 5 seconds, legs are straight, tailbone reaching back in between your heels. Now steady as you go. Press back up to a straight arm plank. Downward facing dog. Take a few cycles of breath. Lift your right leg up behind you. Take an inhale. Slide into pigeon. Actually, just the setup for pigeon. Let's do that. So right knee towards your right wrist, ankle towards your left wrist. Look back. Make sure your left leg is coming straight out of your hip. It's not veering to the side. And then walk your hands back to either side of your hips. This is where the name pigeon comes from. So puffing your chest up, but most importantly, sinking your hips down evenly. If you feel like you're not so even there, you could, if you're at home, use a blanket and prop it underneath your right hip so your hips are level with one another. All right, so inhale, lifting the heart up, rolling the shoulder heads open, and then exhale, walk your hands out and find a place to rest your head down. So Shauna has her fists folded. I think a block would be more comfortable for that. And if you're regularly practicing at home, having a yoga block, having a yoga strap, having a blanket, or you can improvise with, it doesn't have to be a yoga blanket, just having these things handy can be really useful to a practice. Just simple things like this, having a comfortable place to rest your head. All right, so breathing into your back body. Just feel that you're drinking that breath all the way into your upper back. And at this point, really starting to de-excite from a pretty intense practice. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then walk your hands up. Tuck your left toes under, press that leg straight, and step back to down dog, right leg reaching up towards the sky. Take an inhale, and then simply put that foot down. Just take a moment to neutralize in dog pose. So hips reaching up. Heels pressing low. Inhale, left leg extends back. And then exhale, slide it through to set up pigeon. So it said you should bring your shin parallel to the top of your mat. That is absolutely not true, especially if you're leaning off to the side. So if it feels too deep, you can angle that shin back a little bit. All right, so walk your hands back to frame your hips, melting your hips down. So tailbone descending, pubis lifting up, heart opening. Take an inhale, and then exhale, walk your hands forward. Just finding that comfortable place to rest your head. So if this external rotation irritates your knee, there are other options, such as thread the needle. If you're feeling anything in your knee, definitely skip it. Definitely. Provided the knee is feeling good and safe, it's a fantastic hip opener. And every body is different, so everyone feels the stretch in a slightly different place. So wherever it is that you're feeling it, to bring your mind's eye there and breathe into that place as if you had a set of lungs right there. All right, so once again, fill your back body with your breath. And scan your body, make sure there's no gripping in your hands. No gripping in your face. Just take a couple more breaths. And then slowly walk your hands up. Lift your chest and pause. We're going to come out differently. Just lean into that left hip. So basically what you're trying to avoid before. And circle that right leg around. So both legs extend out in front of you. You want your ankles flexed, and some people like to pull the flesh from out under their sit bones. Whatever you're doing, you want to make sure you feel those sit bones. You want to roll to the front edges of them. So you have that natural curve in your low back. Ankles flexed. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Lift your belly. Exhale, reach out. Grab the pinky edges of your feet. Fold right into it. So at this point, as we bring things full circle, just let your eyes close. So much less demand on your body, just slowing that breath down. It's more of a yin, silky quality to that ujjayi. So if you have really tight hamstrings, and that's quite common, you would bend your knees a little bit here. In other words, if you find in your forward bend, you're really rounding your back, that's a good reason to bend your knees, and then you can get some more length through your front spine. Last 20 seconds or so, relax the effort. You've built up a lot of heat, now just melting into those muscles. Make sure your shoulders are out of your ears. And then release. Sitting up, hug your knees into your chest and just tip over onto your back. So just like a roly-poly. Just cruising right down. Keeping that right knee hugged into your chest, extend your left leg straight out onto the floor. Open your right arm out to the side like a wing. Try to keep that palm and that shoulder on the mat as you exhale, take the twist. So knee and head move in opposite directions, or knee and gaze. I'm feeling that almost electrical buzz through your body, that feeling of prana flowing throughout. A sign of a good, effective yoga practice. Roll back to the center, hug your right knee into your chest, followed by your left. So just taking a moment to hug them both, neutralize, and then switch. Right leg straight forward, out of your hip. Left arm out to the side like a wing. Exhale delivers you into this gentle twist. And then finally roll back to the center. Hug your left knee in, followed by your right, and wrap your arms around your legs. So if you happen to have any more excess energy to release, lift your forehead up towards your knees. Take a huge inhale, holding that breath. Grip your body, squeeze everything really, really tight. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale, release. Yes, relax. And completely let yourself go. Shavasana. Personally, my favorite posture. Who doesn't love Shavasana, especially after all that hard work? So welcome and well-deserved. Put this point, release control of your breath. Release all effort in your body. And let yourself literally melt into the deepest state of relaxation possible. It is in this place and in this state, ultimately, that most of the healing takes place. I'm going to leave these ladies to continue resting for at least 5 minutes, if not more. For those of you at home, I know time is often an issue, but please try to take at least 3 or 4 more minutes for yourself. Thank you so much for joining this class. I hope you feel fantastic. Make sure to drink lots of water, and I look forward to flowing with you again soon. Namaste.